talk my shit. I got all dick, and she turned around and hit. And I done learned a lot of shit. I had her burn.
What's up, guys? This your boy, Mr. I-240. I'm finally here with an anticipated episode today called Gimmicks Part 3. I wasn't going to record, but a little backstory, somebody broke in my car. It's Memphis, Tennessee, which I want to do. Folks broke as hell. But I can't let that destroy my hustle and my plan and what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really doing this out of love and respect for y'all. Hey, like I said, I've been busy the past few days. I missed y'all. I've been wanting to get to this episode so I can get to the highly anticipated episodes I really want to get to. So you know how I do, y'all. Start off chill, low key, smooth. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button, and let's get some of this fire wrestling content. Unlike everybody else that talk about the Young Bucks and this all day and da 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 da. Nah. We don't do that. I mean, we talk about current stuff too, but I don't want to talk about that all day too. I like to mix the past with the old, and you know what I'm saying. Let's just talk about a little history from my perspective, and also y'all can chime in. I see that y'all been commenting later. I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying, getting that interaction going. So hey, you know what I'm saying. So today's episode called Gimmicks Part 3. Oh, and PSA announcement. So the other day I posted a short of Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. And I had a fan like, what the, you know what I'm saying? So, all right, so basically, like I explained to him, and I'm going to start explaining to y'all. Whenever I post the first picture of whatever, that's normally my first subject in the theme of the episode, or the theme of that theme of the title. Everything else is just really talked about at that point. But I'd rather talk about the first thing first, the theme of the episode, then I'd rather talk about everything else, if you understand it. So the shoe. This is Gimmicks Part 3. 3. Starting at first, I ain't like the first two, but I'm starting to love it because of what the gimmicks I got on her today. You know what I'm saying? So a majority of these was kind of pretty cool, or majority of them. Some was corny if you really look back at it as an adult, you know what I'm saying? But hey, shoot, let's get straight into it. The first gimmick I want to talk about, Crime Time. Alright, Shad and JTG, they debuted in 2006. They were supposed to be robbing, stealing, killing. Well, not killing, but robbing and stealing. Basically, Vince came up with a corny gimmick that stereotyped black people like everybody just ghetto, hood, and fabulous. Which is not true. But it was good. It was fun to laugh at. They had different training sessions. You know what I'm saying? How to, endurance, how to knock somebody out. Just stealing from the old folks. You know what I'm saying? Even at one point they stole from Booker T. You know what I'm saying? Even had a little street hip hop with Shawn Michaels selling tickets so they can get in on the show on Raw when they was in London, which was a good episode. And Shad ended, but a lot of you guys forget they was actually good wrestlers. You gotta remember they made their debut against the Spirit Squad in LA. This one though, they didn't care about the tag division at all. They were just putting belts on anybody. But they made a big impression. I just feel like they debuted at the wrong time, the wrong era. Because at that point, Vince wasn't really caring about tag team ratings. Wrestlers. It was more singles. He was pushing single stars. It was more about entertainment at that point in 06. So this is why I say at the time I talked to my friends about it. I'm gonna put it at one point. Can we all agree that TNA Impact was better than WWE at one point? Only thing TNA cared about was wrestling, but they had a better show, better storylines. All their rivals made sense, even though someone was trash. But there's no here or there. So, Crime Time made their debut. It's like at that point they wanted no major feuds and stuff like that. It was good. It was funny. But at the same time, if you really look back at it, especially being a young African American, it was kind of offensive. Because it would kind of make a front of the, like, all black folks rob, steal, and kill. And that's not how all black folks do. And I'm pretty sure them guys were just trying to get on. But that was very entertaining. At the same time, I feel like I just wish they would have had the push they deserved before they broke up in 09. Because they were still good together. 08, 09, getting tag team title push. I just wish their feud with DiBiase and Cody Rhodes would have got more shine and more glory, because their feud could have been something special instead of a one and done or lack of interest. Because you got to think about it, WWE at the time, like I said, Vince didn't care about tag team wrestling. If you want Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Stone Cold, Finlay, Booker T, Bobby Lashley, and I think Bobby Lashley was gone after that. If you want the top guys in their top slot, Vince was just gonna put regular shows together. Just look back at some of them pay-per-views and some of them countless feuds that WWE had. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it was hard for them guys to get their shine and get their glory and prosper to what they were supposed to be. Because it was at times they weren't even getting booked right. So in 2009, WWE tried to do some shock value stuff and broke up the group, but it had lost its luster. They lost their luster and they tried to get a solo push, and it just never was the same. Because I believe Vince believed it more in Shad than JTG. Because there was one point that Shad had cut off his hair and wanted to do his own thing. Then they had a feud in another offensive match called a strap match. Now, why would you put two black African American males in the strap match? Knowing we got our butt whooping roots like Huta Kente. Come on, dog. Come on, man. So they both had their solo push, and I think shortly after that, Shad got released, and then shortly after that, JTG got released before he did his little crazy stunt with that crazy flop move in the match with Santino Marella when he hit him with the Cobra. So it just, like I told y'all, if Vince don't see no money in you, peace out. You'll be on Main Event Superstars wrestling on WGN. That's tough. So overall, it was good. The gimmicks was good and bad. So it was hard to make them guys top stars. It was a top comedy act. Of course, everybody like to laugh at black folks when they rob and stealing and killing. But you talking about making them the faces of your company's tag team division? That wasn't gonna happen. And I feel like they should have got a tag team title reign at one point. But hey, there's no here and there. It was a good run while it lasts. Peace and blessings to Brother Shad and his family. You know, so y'all know Brother Shad passed away in 2020 for being a real G, a real protector, provider, for saving his baby boy from drowning. And that's called real love, man, for real. So my shout outs to them, you know what I'm saying? But in a serious note, the gimmicks were cool, but it really wasn't. It was kind of offensive. But just back then, didn't nobody really care about that. But if they did that like today, oh yeah, man, black folks go crazy. You know what I'm saying? But those are the two talented brothers, and I just want to share the light on them guys, because they don't get the credit they deserve. What they contribute to the business. I ain't saying they the Hardy Boys. I ain't saying they new age outlaws. But them guys were good. Was a good team, and them promos was funny as hell. Even though I find some of them offensive, but it was funny as hell. All right, gimmick number 2. I hate to say it, but Diesel was kind of a corny gimmick, though. Corny name, corny gimmick. Like, who the hell gonna walk around like, hey, man, my name Diesel Power? Like, ain't nobody gonna walk around and say that. I'm pretty sure Kevin Nash was not saying it, bro. I'm pretty sure Kevin Nash hated that name. But it got him over. He just wanted to get on, get his shine. Because you gotta remember, he was Dr. Oz from Wizard of Oz looking dude. Then I think he was Vinny Vega. Trash. This is the thing about the wrestling business you gotta remember. And I'm glad they kind of roll from the gimmick. Some guys are not gimmick guys. Some guys, you gotta let them be themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think Kevin Nash was more of himself, especially when he joined the NWO. We forget to all that. So late 1993, Diesel, FKA Kevin Nash, debuted as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard. With him and Shawn Michaels together, they was unstoppable. They was, man, running rough shots around WWE, especially on my next gimmick that I'm gonna talk about, Razor Ramon. And you gotta remember, Vince loved big guys. So around like 94, when Bret was champion after he defeated Yokozuna, Diesel got a title shot at King of the Ring. And of course, I think it was a draw or whatever. But I get why Vince named him Diesel. Kevin Nash, 6'8", played basketball, strong. Pause. Strong, you know what I'm saying? Tall, heavy set dude. You know what I'm saying? He got the look. But if you look back at it though, like if I was 34 years old, 35 years old at Kevin Nash at the time, and I'm pretty sure he had that look, so you gonna call me Diesel. What I'm gonna do with that? You know what I'm saying? Especially heading towards the Attitude Era. You can't market no name Diesel. We got Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Diesel. What we gonna do with that? This ain't 93. So, with that being said, he went on a run with Shawn. Then, as him and Shawn was on top of the world, they became tag team champions in 94. After he, after the match with Bret. Then, later on in 94, it was a lot of tension between him and Shawn. And so, this when you know the Diesel push was starting to be on the rise. And they were going to make him a superstar and see that it worked. They were going to try to see that it worked. Then, him and Shawn broke up in late 94. Bret had just lost the belt to Bob Backlund thanks to his mama throwing in the towel. So, Bob Backlund became world champion. We should have known that title reign wasn't going to last, man. Like, you can't promote Bob Backlund heading into the Attitude Era, a man with a suit looking like alfalfa. That wasn't going to work. Man, we in Tupac, Thug Life, Skull Cap, kids popping meth, drugs, getting high. Like, you can't promote that. So, they said, hey, let's try to do something new. So, we gave it to Diesel. And the Diesel Championship experiment was an epic fail. From according to reports, Diesel was not selling out the shows, selling a dime. It just wasn't working. Even with Bret, and I think this was the beginning of the end of fans getting tired of Bret too. And they had good matches. It was just like, all right, bro, I'm tired of Bret. Then heading towards WrestleMania, doing this thing, yada yada yada. His best friend, Shawn Michaels, won the Royal Rumble. Hell, they tried to bring Pamela Anderson to it. The match just didn't. The feud wasn't that good. It was so bad that they let my boy LT and Bam Bam main event WrestleMania. Think about it. LT, the football player, a man who did that Snow White, that crack rock, that my 75% is better than your 100. Main event against Bam Bam, who's a very good crafty wrestler, but he was not entertaining. Main event you. That just shows you Vince knew that Diesel wasn't drawing a dime, but he kept on sticking with it. So, all right, Diesel beat Shawn at WrestleMania. Then heading towards SummerSlam with Mabel in 95. Trash. Woo! Boy, the built-up stank, the match stank. What could you do? And then, like I said, everybody getting tired of that gimmick, you know what I'm saying? We in that thug life. It's 95 now. Montel Jordan came in. This is how we do it. All that. So you got to think about all these, like, bro, what we going to do with this, bro? Gimmick ain't working. Ain't nobody feeling it. Hell, Diesel, Shawn, all the folks getting tired of that gimmicky stuff. Right? So they kept on doing it. So, he beat Mabel. Him and Shawn teamed back up back in 95. became tag team champions after they beat Yokozuna and Owen Hart for the tag belts, which they won the belts at WrestleMania against Smoking Guns. Okay, team up, coordinate camp, you know what I'm saying, yada yada yada. Then, alright, so he lost the belt. Then he fought Brett again in a classic Survivor Series match. Classic. Like, I gotta put that classic in there. Like, there was a classic Survivor Series match in 1995 Survivor Series. No DQ. Alright. Lost to Brett against the roll up. Powerbomb Brett after that. He turned heel. I ain't gonna front. It was time to turn up a little bit this time around. Because Kevin Nash had a little edge to him. I think at that point, we were seeing more of Kevin Nash than Diesel. You see what I'm saying? Because he had more attitude. He had more raw, real. So, I think late 95, I think Diesel competed against somebody. I'm not sure he wrestled that night. I'm not sure. And I know Undertaker had just became the #1 contender with the mask on after beating Mabel in the casket match. Then him and Undertaker started feuding in the storyline. So, both of them had different views heading into the Royal Rumble. Undertaker was getting his shot at Bret Hart at the Royal Rumble, which was a good match. I just think folks was just tired of Bret at that point. And then Diesel was in the Royal Rumble. Now, you got to remember, before the Royal Rumble, Diesel cost Undertaker the championship because he was jealous of his shine. So, you got to remember that. You got to put that in there. Watch it. So, Diesel, they started jacking. He gave him the middle finger, F you. You know what I'm saying? So he gave him the middle finger, F you, and stuff like that. So he did that. Then we on the collision, of course, at WrestleMania. So heading to hit WrestleMania. Diesel got his rematch against Brett in the steel cage match. So, fun fact, I know a lot of y'all remember this. So, Diesel did a shoot interview where, I was talking about episodes way back, where Brett was worried about the finish. And he wanted, Diesel like, I want you to take the power bomb. Brett was like, no, man, I don't want to take the power bomb, yada, yada, yada. And Undertaker was going to interfere and da-da-da-da-da, and Brett was being selfish. Cool Hand Luke, my boy, Cool Hand Luke. Undertaker was like, look, mother, it's not about you. It's about how we trying to build our match. And so the cage match went on. And Brett won. He moved on to Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania in a great classic 60-man in Iron Man match with the classic score 2-1. But in the meanwhile, Diesel and Undertaker was on the collision course of themselves as being a double main event, even though it's a one-man event. But you need all the marketing and stuff like that to do what you got to do. And also on that card was Stone Cold versus Savio Vega. That was a good rivalry too. But they'll probably be on Underrated Feuds Part 2. I know, I love doing this. But side note. So, as they on the collision course, Undertaker playing mind games with Diesel and stuff like that. And then you gotta remember, they got the real body with makeup. And they made it seem like it was Diesel in the casting. Then the match happened itself between Undertaker and Diesel. And now that's what you call big men versus big man, classic wrestling. Straight to the wire. Undertaker won with the classic tombstone right in the center of the WrestleMania, saying Diesel lost. So after that, Diesel moved back on to Shawn. After Shawn, he was his first title defense. And it was a classic no holds barred. And then after that, Diesel moved on because Ted Turner offered him that bread. And plus, all of them wanted to do edgier content. So the bottom line was, in the beginning of the Diesel phase, there wasn't more of him. But I think he was starting to catch steam as Diesel later on, because we were seeing more of Kevin Nash. If you get what I'm saying, we were seeing more of Kevin. So Nash more than just Diesel. You know what I'm saying? So Diesel was cool. It was, and plus Vince then was mad at him so much. Hell, they made this mayor until fake Diesel. That's tough. So, they just wanted to get back them because they was upset for the curtain call. Y'all know who got punched out of all that, right? Triple H. But there's no here or there. So Diesel was cool in the beginning, but I think it could have been more greater if they would have stayed around because he was becoming more Kevin Nash than just Diesel. All right. So the third gimmick I want to talk about is Scott Hall, Razor Ramon. Razor Ramon was based off the movie Scarface playing Al Pacino, Tony Montana. So basically they had the aura that he was some Puerto Rican man that was born in Miami. Now, let's sit here and think about this. Now, we all know Scott Hall is white as driven snow. So sometimes you look as a kid, man, that man Puerto Rican for real. Even Nori thought he was Puerto Rican on Drink Champs with Quavo and R.I.P. to the Rocket. Take off. He thought he was Puerto Rican. But if you just really look back at that gimmick, it had a little edge to him. Scott Hall made it work because Scott Hall was good on the mic. But if you just really look back at it, that gimmick was kind of corny too. But he made it work. So Scott Hall debuted in 1992. And he was beating countless opponents on his run. Then later on that year, middle of the year, he teamed up with the Nature Boy Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect. See, he was already getting that big push, getting his shine. Now, don't get me wrong, Vince back then knew stars. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting his shine, and then he jumped into the Ultimate Warrior feud versus him and Ultimate Warrior. He jumped into the Ultimate Warrior feud, Macho Man Randy Savage feud versus Ric Flair and him with the manager of Mr. Perfect, you know what I'm saying, with Bobby Heenan on the Bobby Heenan team. So he was getting his big shine, his big push. Now they were supposed to face them in Survivor Series, but unabruptly, again, the Warrior left. Or something happened, back in 92. So instead, if you remember on I forgot that show called when Mr. Perfect became Randy, when they used to do Saturday Night TV, when they used to sit at the table with Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Hillbilly Jim, Bobby Heenan, Macho Man Randy Savage was like, hey, I need you to be my partner, Mr. Perfect. So he joined them. So Scott Hall, Mr. Machismo, was starting to get his just due instantly because he was a star. He had size, he had the umph, he was strong, he was a lot of things. So then he was entertaining, especially with him and Ric Flair. It was just like magic. It's like they fed off each other and they made it work in a short period of time. You would think him and Ric Flair have been teaming up forever, but it wasn't even that long. You see what I'm saying? So you got to think about that at the same time. And excuse me. And he was starting to get over and stuff like that. Then they lost the match, and then during late 92, 93, him and Ric Flair wanted to go for the same belt. But for some reason, no, Flair was the champion. And Bret beat him. And then they started building towards him and Bret. And there was an underrated build up where Razor Ramon was a bullying his brother Bret Hart, bullying Owen Hart, bullying Bret Hart during the promos, leading up to that very underrated classic match at the Royal Rumble in 1993 in Sacramento. It was a wrestling spectacle. It was epic. Especially you got that in that very underrated 1993 Royal Rumble where we saw the great Giant Gonzalez debut and beat The Undertaker. So, Scott Hall started to get his just due, his push, momentum. Then, summertime, it was time for a character change on the episode of Monday Night Raw where he got beat by the Kid, 123 Kid, aka Sean Waltman. The man that, boned his best friend, ex-girlfriend, but that's a whole nother story. But God bless China. I love you, baby. But at the same time, so it was time for a character change where he became a good guy, started saving the kid. Then that led to that gimmick with his feud with Ted DiBiase heading to SummerSlam 1993. Because Ted DiBiase and RS was laughing at him that he lost to the kid. So, him and Ted DiBiase had a great matchup. And I think that was the last time we saw Ted DiBiase. Then, shortly after that, he became a good guy. So, 1993, Shawn Michaels was the Intercontinental Champion. He got suspended for doing steroids or illicit drugs. So, they had a battle royal for the Intercontinental title. The two winners will face each other on the next week of Raw. Razor was in it, Giant Gonzalez was in it, Rick Martel was in it, and the rest I can't remember everybody else. Y'all put them in the comments. So, it was down to him and Rick Martel, and they would face each other the next week of Raw. Then the next week of Raw came, Razor became the champ. So he was in the process of a making, and Vince was trying to push the next generation era. So Razor having a good title reign. Shawn come back in January. I'm the real Intercontinental Champion. You're the fake Intercontinental Champion. So meanwhile, they building this match for at least 4 or 5 months, where counters attack on each other, even doing Razor Ramon title fence against IRS at the Royal Rumble, which was an underrated good match. And then the classic happened. The double ladder match. Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, New York City. The spotlights is bright. It was a lot of parallels to their WrestleMania. If you want to say who stole the storyline, it'd be between Bret winning the belt, Bret and Orton, and also Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon still in the show. Now, this technically was not the first ladder match in history, in WWE history. It was really Bret and Shawn, but they was on national television. They was just on for free. This was on the big stage. They seeing moves that they never seen before. It's only so much you can do with a ladder. So it was so amazing. It was captivating. And like I said, Scott Hall was showing that I'm the guy. I'm one of the guys. I'm one of the new generation guys. I'm the man. So, him and Shawn go at it. Razor won the belt in 94. His title reign lasted for 2-3 months. Then he lost to Diesel. Then after a while, I think Scott Hall was probably getting suspended and stuff due to drugs, whatever. Because I remember it was times where we didn't see him, and we hardly seen him in 95. Then 95 came around. He fought Shawn Michaels back in the ladder match. They had a classic match. Then Shawn got him. Then, like I said, rolling. Back in 96, late 95, 96, he won it back. Then he lost it to Jeff Jarrett at the Royal Rumble. Thanks to, I think, 1-2-3 Kid betrayed him. Then, of course, no, he lost to Goldust. He lost one to Goldust too. They had their little feud weird. I think at that point, I feel like Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, was kind of fed over with the WWE. Cause I think he was ready for new content, be fresh, be new. You know, y'all may be feared against Dusty. He probably ain't had nothing against Dusty, you know what I'm saying? Because he got love for Dusty Rhodes, but I'm pretty sure he went down with that fruity stuff, you know what I'm saying? Dude getting tattooed his name on him and all that. I just think like, all right, look, bro, this too much. And, you know, I'm out, you know what I'm saying? So after a while, then he was supposed to face Goldust in the Hollywood Brawl parking lot, but he got suspended. So they explained when they had Roddy Piper versus Goldust. And then after a while, that's when Scott Hall got cut, moved on, asked for more money after the curtain call, and then he moved on. And then for them to do that, that's when they came up with fake Razor Ramon. God bless him and his family. And I think he passed away. I don't know his name. But like I said, it was only so much you can do with a like a Diesel and Razor Ramon. This is, like I said, this Thug Life, Tupac era, Nirvana. Now we need that reality. We need that drama. Hey man, who smashing who? Who doing that crack rock? Like that what we were looking for. Well, I was kind of young, but that was the generation before me was looking for. So then the next gimmick I want to talk about, well, it's really not a gimmick, but good old Dusty Rhodes, baby. Now here's a guy who's the man of NWA Jim Crockett Promotions or whatever. Even a good booker. Now he was doing his thing and stuff like that. Now later on he came to the WWE. I'm thinking he finna get a run of his life. What they do? They turn his man to this offensive gimmick. Black polka dots. Got him with Sapphire. Vince was basically trying to bury the man. Because if you know the backstory, Vince and Dusty Rhodes always had a rocket relationship. Because they both were trying to compete against each other. So fun fact. Do y'all know that the guy that played Vincent was kind of shots back at each other? So the same guy that played Virgil, and we know Virgil is Dusty Rhodes' real name. Then when he became to WCW, he was Vincent. So they really had beef with each other, and Vince was like, look, MF, you competed against me, and you tried to put me out of business. Nah, son, I'm going to give you this whack gimmick right here. And you know what happened? He made it work. He showed Vince like, boy, you can give me chitlins. I'm going to make this gimmick work. I'm going to make this work. And boy, did he. But shortly after that, Dusty run ended around like 90. He was in pointless feuds. He never really got a title shot at the belt. And then he shortly was let go. And I think he shortly retired from the ring. Well, he was in and out the ring in between. I think he shortly retired for a brief minute before he returned to the ring in ECW with Steve Corino in the Texas Bull Rope match, which was a brutal classic where I think Steve Corino barely escaped with his life. But the point that I'm showing to show y'all about Dusty is you can give Dusty whatever. He gonna make the best of it because he just got natural charisma. And he don't need no belt to really validate him. Because you can't disrespect no guy that was in countless feuds against Ric Flair, Harley Race. Hell, he probably faced the Steamboat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's disrespectful. Like, he just that naturally talented guy. And he just made it work. So, shout out to Dusty, man. Shout out to Cody. Shout out to Dusty, man. Being a talented family, man. You know, it ain't it's many words you can say about Dusty Rhodes all day. Was he the best wrestler? No. But did he make you ready to watch a match? Yes, he did. He entertained. He had the street cred. I know you know he hung around black dudes. Cause white dudes don't act like that naturally. Cause when white dudes try to have swagger, it be corny. What's up, dog? No, that ain't it. But Dusty Rhodes had that swagger, that confidence. He had that persona that can put him over. Shout out to Dusty. Now, the next one I want to talk about, Skip Sheffield, a.k.a. Ryback. Ooh, excuse me. So, in 2010, Skip Sheffield was on the original development called NXT. Where he was supposed to be this cowboy-looking dude. I don't even know. It just wasn't working out. So, he faded away. I think, who won that competition? I don't know if it was Bray Wyatt. Not Bray Wyatt. Wade Barrett, when he teamed up with Jericho. And, it was basically built around Wade Barrett. Because if I remember, Wade Barrett was better than them guys on the mic. Now, wrestling-wise, him and Daniel Bryan was right here. But no, David Otunga, too. The A-lister. It was between him, Bryan, and David Otunga to be the NXT. So, shortly after that, he got eliminated. They weren't doing no with Wade Barrett. Well, they had Wade Barrett under Jericho for a minute, being his assistant. And then Wade Barrett was like, look, man, I'm tired of being your whipping boy. I'm going to come up with my own stuff. and then born the Nexus, where they took over, beat the hell out of everybody, where Daniel Bryan really choked the hell out of Justin Roberts for real and got suspended. They made an impact, dominate, destroying the ring, the whole set. They had people on alert, scared, getting attacked every week. He was a part of it. You see what I'm saying? Where they terrorized Cena, Bret Hart, Great Khali, all Undertaker, everybody getting his work. Hell, they made a limited Michael Tarver look good. Boy, that boy was garbage. I just think he tried it because he was bored. I knew he wasn't going to be no star because he talked on the mic. It was like, bruh. I knew they were going to let him go eventually. Sorry, bruh. I'm rooting for you, but they wasn't it. So, as they were terrorizing folks and stuff like that, they were starting to take over. Then they had the infamous match at Survivor Series. Not Survivor Series, SummerSlam. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel like they should have won, but Cena wanted to be selfish and put himself over. Which I don't know why, I don't understand. But hey, there's no here or there. So, short after a while, the Nexus broke up. Wade Barrett went on to bigger things, but the remaining crew members got a fire shot with Randy Orton, but Skip Sherfield was in between the shuffle. Then, 2012, 2013 happened. Ooh, excuse me. Punk was starting to take over. Punk was getting his shine. And then they started building Goldberg 2.0, which was Ryback, who became a phenomenon with Feed Me More. Feed Me More. Feed Me More. Now, it was slowly built up, getting its just due, but they had to rush it because John Cena got hurt during SummerSlam. Was it SummerSlam? Yeah, SummerSlam. So, in Night of Champions, because they were both to face each other, Punk and Cena in Hell in a Cell, but they needed somebody to face Punk, and why not have a undefeated, dominant Ryback to face Punk? Where he, from what Punk said, he brutalized Punk, injured Punk. And I don't know, I seen one video where he speared Punk during the TLC match during the table. He asked Punk, was he okay? So, I don't think he was trying to hurt Punk at times. I just think his style was just a little bit aggressive. But it's not near that. So, he got the title shot. The match was going good. It had a whack finish because I think Vince still wanted to make Ryback look strong. So, they had the referee screw him. And then, it went from... Because that's when R-Truth and Miz interrupted the Hell in the Cell match. Was it that one? No, it wasn't that one. No, that was our Battle of the Real. I'm sorry. But, because that was the year after. Yeah, Ryback came the year after. So, after Hell in the Cell, Cena came back. They had the great, underrated triple threat match between the unstoppable Ryback, the best in the world, Punk, and Cena, always going at it until the three top wrestlers in the world debuted, destroyed Ryback, and went on. So, after that, Ryback got his title shot again a month and a half later at on the episode of Raw in the TLC match. Then he lost to Punk. Then, of course, Punk went on to big and better things, fought The Rock at Royal Rumble. Now that I look back on, I'm a Rock fan, but The Rock shouldn't have won that match. So, Ryback won countless of titles too, Intercontinental title. Then, shortly after that, I think around 2013, I think when he fatally turned on Cena after Cena won his match, I think he won the belt, was against The Rock. Yeah, against The Rock on the episode of Raw. And then that's when the bully Ryback was born. I feel like if he would have been bully Ryback a long time ago, he'd been big as ever. Because you got to remember, man, he was bullying folks, man. Terrorizing, like, look at this dude, scared. You want to know who else was scared? Ricky Starks, scared in the mud. He was bullying for asking stupid questions, answering the question, what I say, do that. Like, man, like, bully Ryback. I feel like if Ryback would have just got his just due and his credit, that he probably wanted, he would have still been WWE. I think sometimes he was delusional, but I think he was full of himself. He was good, but he wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of, when he became Bully Ryback, it kind of separated him from Goldberg. In my eyes, I'm not saying he better than Goldberg, but when it come down to adapting and being the heel, he was better than Goldberg. Because when Goldberg went heel, wasn't nobody feeling it. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel authentic. It just felt like WCW was desperate for ratings. So when he became Bully Ryback, man, that was some good stuff. I just wish they didn't shorten it. And then, of course, he teamed up with Paul Heyman. You know, all the rest is history. Curtis Axel. And then they just, after that, his career fizzled like bacon. So, Ryback was a good gimmick. But the Bully Ryback was ahead of his time in entertainment. So, this last gimmick is going to be short and sweet, though. Jeff Hardy. Now, Jeff Hardy, we all know, is the charismatic enigma. High-flying, daredevil, doing what he wanted to do. But he decided to come up with a name called Willow. I'm gonna be real. Willow ain't it. Willow is not it. We can tell who's better at coming up with a gimmick, him or his brother. It clearly shows you that Matt Hardy is the brains of the team. Because Matt Hardy came up with Woken Matt, and it went from there. Jeff Hardy came up with a broke Joker. Willow acting crazy. I'm crazy. Woo! All that. And it's just like, nah, little bruh. I ain't feeling it, dog. This ain't it. Sorry, Jeff. But it's just like, Willow just wasn't going to connect. And then he told me he wanted to feel with Bray Wyatt. It wasn't going to work, bro. It just, ain't nobody going to be feeling nobody running down the ramp like a SmackDown character in SmackDown 1. Ain't nobody going to be feeling that, bro. I'm sorry, Jeff. That just ain't it. But this it for today's episode. Man, I just want to tell y'all I love y'all, appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't finna do this today, but you know, I can't let nobody steal my shine, steal my glory. I know God's still on my side, you know what I'm saying? So it probably just a misfortune situation that happened. Everything's fine. It's just I don't want to pay for car parts. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to curse, but I'm just saying, like, stuff costs money. But I really love this. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the support this page have. You know, most importantly, I just want to thank Jesus Christ, you know what I'm saying, the Lord and Savior. But this is this episode. Don't forget to edit this bad boy. It should drop in a few hours. Gotta let my phone charge up. I love y'all. I'm out. Yeet. Peace.